What up, though, Pistons fans? Took care of business against the Cavs today, man, and it feels great to finally see us put Donovan Mitchell in this place. I'm so sick of this man beating us. Well, that's not the case today, man. We're missing some starters, obviously, Tobias and Duren. Allen's missing on their squad. Didn't matter. The Pistons still brung the energy. We've weathered through the storm of the turnovers and everything else that was thrown at us from not being able to shoot the ball well. The Pistons stuck to their culture. They stuck to their game style, and that's what ultimately won this game. Let's talk about it.
We're ready to roll off in the 3-1-3. Defense.
You already know what it is.
You ready? Do it in 3,
Come on.
2, 1.
Hey, you know the Pistons won again. You know the Pistons won again. Come on. You know the Pistons won again. For real? Cause all we do is win. Let's go. You know the Pistons won again. You know the Pistons won again. Come on. You know the Pistons won again. For real? Cause all we do is win. Let's go. Like K when I'm headed to the rack. We just won another game. That's enough.
All right, y'all. So first and foremost, we did not play our best game on the offensive side of the basketball today, at least from the three-point range today. We didn't shoot the ball well at all, man. We had a lot of opportunities out there, but then we got a spurt and a lift. Thank you, Cleveland, for not paying attention to Daniss Jenkins. He burned them viciously today. Man. It's just like when you see some of the game winners, man, these teams, you know, when you got guys out there, you sneak in that price attack where these guys look at him and say, hey, okay, we can sag off of him a little bit. No, you cannot. Not Daniss Jenkins. No, you cannot. They left him wide open, man, and he got hot real quick. Once he gets that confidence, once he starts to knock down a few shots and get to yelling and shouting and doing his thing, you can forget about it, man. He's going to go on a spurt, and he did that tonight, man. Shot the ball beautifully from three-point land going into that the end of that first half. And it just carried the Pistons through all of our issues of not being able to knock down shots from the three-point line, and also the turnovers. They started early. The first 3 possessions of the entire basketball game, you turned the ball over twice immediately. One from Asar and one from Cade immediately. I knew it was going to be that type of night from that standpoint. So Daniss Jenkins definitely carried them into that halftime, man. And, you know, like I said, the damage was already done from there because the Pistons was able to withstand whatever Cleveland threw at them for the next 2 quarters in order to finish out this basketball game. Now, one thing that never left for the Detroit Pistons, and the main reason why we won this game, is the energy was there. The energy was there from the beginning to the very end of this game. Even though we didn't knock down shots, even though, you know, we had some trouble out there with turnovers, they kept the defensive energy, man, and it allowed them to keep that lead in order to be able to come out with a victory. Because, like I said, if the other team is not scoring at a high clip, what does it matter if you're not knocking down 3-point shots? The way that we play basketball is very, very, it's old school. It's the fundamental way. It's the right way. We play the right way. And when you play the right way, there's multiple ways that you can win basketball games. Imagine if the Pistons were knocking down shots. This would have been a blowout. So in order to win games where you're not shooting well, you have to do one thing. And that one thing is you have to play defense. You have to keep the other team from scoring the basketball. And we, you know, even though Donovan Mitchell had 29 points tonight, I believe it was a sneaky 29 points. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even remember seeing 29 points when I watched him tonight, because we pretty much kept him under control tonight. Evan Mobley didn't let him get too loose. He knocked down a couple of 3-point shots, but if you knock those down, fine. We just don't want you catching alley-oops and dunking all over everybody and dominating in the paint. We are the dominant paint team. We have the defensive player of the month in Isaiah Stewart over here, who was doing his thing again tonight, blocking shots, including Evan Mobley. So, but the defense was always there, man. Guys like Ron Holland and them came in and did what they always do. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, real quick, I gave a topic on Twitter, man, on X, and it's caused a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's a lot of Asar fans out there. Me personally, I'm a fan of everybody on my team, but I tell it like it is sometimes. And the tweet went like this: I don't know if Asar is a starter right now for this team. Now, hear me out before you emotionally react. I'm not saying Asar is a bad player. I'm not saying that, he'll never be a starter for this team. I'm not saying that he doesn't need to start for the rest of the season. I'm just saying right now, offensively, he is too atrocious to be starting right now. That's all I was saying. That's it. So I don't know, why people got that confused. But I guess they thought I was saying that he was some type of bad player. So, who starts in this spot? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? Tobias Harris is out. Duren is out. But when those guys return, my lineup probably looks like Duren. I would love Stu to start next to Duren and then play Tobias at the 3. I would love to do that, but I know that's not what's going to happen. But Tobias and, like I said, maybe a Duncan Robinson at the 3. Maybe Duncan Robinson at the 3 is your shooter at the 3. He's tall enough. He's been given enough effort on the defensive side, enough effort. And then you start somebody next to K, like either Daniss Jenkins or, I know we still got Ivy on a minute restriction, which we'll talk about him in a second. But that's where I'm going. That's just where I'm going. And we have enough firepower still left on the bench because guess who's back? Marcus Asar. That's just me personally. That's what I would do. That's my opinion. You guys, you'll have your opinions, of course. But that's me. I don't know. Let me know if I'm tripping. But offensively, he's just been too bad. And he's literally to the point to where he's just turning the ball over. He is pushing the ball into the middle of the paint and just picking the ball up. And those are things that I see when I watch my son in his middle school game. Some of his teammates are doing that and his coach is screaming and yelling at him. You can't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? On the offensive side of the ball, yes, he plays great defense, but this is where the rest of the tweet comes in. I said he should be a situational player as a starter for the Detroit Pistons. Situational, where you have to have him in there to lock down a certain player. But pressing and forcing the issue, I don't know about that. Because he's obviously regressed as a playmaker. Because even the passes are not as accurate. It's a lot of turnovers, man. So, everybody has issues with turnover, including our star player. But when you're not contributing offensively, it just hurts that much more. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, that drew a lot of attention on X, and I'm probably sure it would on here. But again, I'm not saying Asar is a bad player. I'm not saying he shouldn't start at no point in the season. What I'm saying is right now, I just think we have to take better options. And I also put a graph out there and see who people thought was better between him and Ron Holland. And that's been very interesting on X. So, yeah. I'm not trying to tear down any of the players on our team, but I just think we can just get a little bit more relief for Cade, because Cade's high turnovers are part due because they're throwing 2 and 3 players at him simply because of how limited you are offensively, especially when you have Tobias Harris and Jalen Duren out of the lineup. So that's me. That's my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. But as far as the game went, the Pistons definitely brung enough energy and enough defense today to take care of business, man. Big free throws in the second half with Daniss Jenkins, man. I was telling somebody on X, man, I said, I'd be surprised if he scored more than 5 points in the second half. And he ended up being the guy to get the big free throws. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, once teams started to pay attention and started to put the defense out there as far as the game plan, it's going to be tougher for you to score. It wasn't a knock to Daniss. It was just the fact that now you got to respect the Cleveland, and that opens things up for Cade Cunningham and for whoever else is on the offensive side of the ball. When it's a good thing when a team leaves you open and you knock down shots, but it's also not a good thing because that means they're focusing and they're double or triple teaming one player on your team. So he burned them tonight, and that's exactly what we need him to do. That's what we need guys like Sasser to do. Come in and be those type of scorers for us it opens up things for Cade. Even though they still didn't, I think he got like 11 free throws tonight. He should have had more like 20. I mean, this man was getting fouled. He got knocked on his back. It was bad out there. But to slow down that bleeding, we need you to knock down shots and make the other team respect you as soon as you walk on court. That's what happened in the second half. That's what allowed the Pistons to keep that lead. That's what allowed the Pistons to win this basketball game. Definitely the player of the game tonight is Daniss Jenkins. Even though, Cade is 27, 7-6. It's Daniss Jenkins, man, because what he brung as far as shooting in the first half and what he brung in the second half because of what he did in the first half, it allowed the Pistons through a bad shooting night and a high turnover night to come out with a victory against Cleveland. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.